So for your week 5 preparation quiz. So the week 5 quiz is about punctuation. And so quotation marks are used to quote dialogues and titles. You must use both quotation marks, beginning quotation mark and ending quotation mark, around a title or dialogue. So it's incorrect to say, John says Michael is here, because you're missing a quotation mark and quotation mark over here. John says Michael is here. This one, you're missing a quotation mark over here. Instead, it's correct to say Michael is here, and you have a quotation mark over here, and you have a quotation mark over here. And so in your quiz, week 5 quiz, it's going to ask you, is this a correct or incorrect sentence? Is there a missing quotation mark? So you have to look at each sentence to make sure that there's 2 quotation marks. In A, Martha claims George is home. Okay, this is 1 quotation mark. Okay, that one's missing, so A is not right. B, Martha claims George is home. Oh, it's missing a quotation mark over here, so B is wrong. And then C, Martha claims George is home. So that you have a quotation mark over here, and you have one over here, and this is correct. And then here you have a title, John watched The Beautiful Mind. And then here you have missing a end quotation mark, so this is wrong. And then in this one, it's missing a beginning quotation mark, so this is wrong. So the C is correct. John watched the movie, and you've got 2 quotation marks. So on the quiz, when you're looking at the sentences, make sure there's a quotation mark over here and a quotation mark over here. And there are a lot of quiz questions like that. What is a plural subject? Plural subject is when you have more than one item. And so if you have more than one coat, like coats with an S, then it's a plural subject. Coats are used in the winter. If you just have one coat, the coat is old. That's a singular subject. So is this a singular or plural subject? Books. So there are many books. So it's a plural subject. When you do capitalization, you capitalize famous names, titles, name of countries, name of ethnicities. So here, the French people live in France. You can see the red here from the Microsoft Word. So you know that this is incorrect. So because you need to capitalize ethnicities like French, and you have to capitalize name of countries. So the French people live in France. Uncle Bob lives in Kansas. You have to capitalize names of people. Uncle Bob. So uncle needs to be capitalized, Bob needs to be capitalized, and names of states needs to be capitalized. And President Lincoln here is not right because nothing is capitalized. You have to capitalize the name President Lincoln, and you have to capitalize titles, names and titles. You have to capitalize I like to drive, because it's wrong, and here it's correct, I like to drive. Use comma after a dependent clause. Correct. When I walk the dog, comma, I chew gum. It's incorrect to just have, when I walk the dog, I chew gum. Because when I walk the dog is a dependent clause, so the sentence requires a comma after dog. Although John is fat, he eats very little. Same thing. Dependent clause, you need a comma after the dependent clause. When Karen's mother returned to college this year, and that's the dependent clause, you need a comma after year. The entire family helped her move to the dorm. You use a comma after a coordinating conjunction. A coordinating conjunction is a conjunction that ties or links 2 sentences together, 2 complete sentences. So fanboys, that's how you can remember a coordinating conjunction. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. So here you have Mary is tall, comma, but John is short. John is fat, but he eats very little. You can also have sentences like Mary is tall. John is tall and Mary is short. So you still have to use a comma. Use a comma between relative clauses, dependent clause. A relative clause, also known as the adjective clause, is a dependent clause that modifies a noun. So when you have an adjective or dependent clause, you use words like who, which, that, and whom. So face masks, comma, which sells at high prices, comma, are needed as protection against COVID-19. And then John, comma, who is French, comma, lives in France. The table, comma, which is made of wood, comma, is an antique. And so this happens when the dependent clause is in the middle of the sentence or at the beginning of the sentence. If the dependent clause is at the end of the sentence, like that is made of wood, then you put the comma. You don't have to put the comma at the end. You put a period. So I like the antique table that is made of wood. And so all of these dependent clauses modifies the noun. John, who is French, and so the who is French modifies John, which is made of wood modifies table, and which that is made of wood also modifies table. That is greasy also modifies food. And so all of these clauses are known as adjective clauses because they are adjectives that modify the noun. Difference between your and yours and use of apostrophes. So Y-O-U-R-E, the first one, you are. And so then here you have, you're crazy to go into the seawater in the wintertime. And then here you cannot say, you're crazy to go into the seawater in the wintertime. Same thing with this one. Your wallet is filled with money is correct. And you cannot say, your wallet is filled with money. Last but not least, it's about standard abbreviations. So an abbreviation, when you have a standard abbreviation that's commonly known, like USA, you can just say USA. But if it's not commonly known and it's not standard, then you have to spell it out for clarity, like TESOL. So teaching English as a second language. In that way, readers know what the abbreviations stand for. When you write a paper, spell out the abbreviation the first time you use it in the thesis. Then you can use the abbreviation throughout the paper. Numbers. Spell out numbers that are fewer than 3 words. So it's incorrect to just write, we will have the report for you in 72 hours. It's correct to say, we will have the report for you, and you spell it out, because 72 can be written 72, which is fewer than 3 words, so it needs to be spelled out. And also remember to use numbers for dates, times, addresses, percentages, and chapters of books. And so this ends my Week 5 quiz prep video.